Sometimes I wish I had the Thanos power. For all pedophiles, I would love to just snap my finger and they just disappear off of planet Earth. That would be wonderful. I want to tell you guys about this story. It's really short, but I just think this is a disgusting, despicable, every just derogatory term that you could think of, all these derogatory D terms, D words you could think of, call that man. But let me get into the details and then we'll go from there. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from nypost.com, so thank you for the article. Let me get this pedophile, definitely a pedophile's face up on the screen. Disturbing surveillance footage captured a convicted child sex offender. Let me say that again. A convicted child sex offender. That is on record. Appearing to stalk a young girl and her mom inside a Florida Home Depot for several minutes before a Good Samaritan finally intervened, according to police. Yes, he has an ankle monitor on. I'm glad you caught that. That was actually in that picture, as you can see right there. That is an ankle monitor. Good catch. His name is Kevin Scott Hurley. He's 60 years old. Why does he look like a 90-year-old? What's the dude from WWE, WWF? Can I get a woo? I forget his name. Rick something. I don't know. I didn't watch enough wrestling. Rick something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, that's kind of what he looks like. He's 60 years old, allegedly. Why that man looks 80, every bit of 80 years old. 60-year-old pervert, thank you. Was at the Miami area hardware store. And again, that's at Home Depot. Ric Flair, thank you. He looked like a 90-year-old Ric Flair. At a Miami hardware store on July the 4th when he allegedly set his sights on a 10-year-old girl who was visiting the store with her mother, according to an arrest report obtained by the New York Post. Hurley, who was out on probation after serving prison time for a decade-old conviction of child molestation, repeatedly tried to make contact with this random girl inside of Home Depot on video. He repeatedly tried to make contact with this girl. The creepy surveillance footage released by the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office this week showed he was following this girl all up and through this store. Oh, if I would have caught him, if that would have been my daughter, they would have been dragging him out on a stretcher. I'm not advocating for vigilante violence or vigilante justice. I'm just not against it. Okay? Hurley was standing near the child in line for returns when he turned to her. This man is very bold. He turned to her and he commented on her Disney souvenir. Come here, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, I got you. She basically had on Mickey Mouse ears. He commented and he told her, I like your Mickey Mouse ears. We'll hear that in the video. At least I'll try to turn it up so you can hear it. He said, I love your Mickey Mouse ears, and I think you're too big to be in that shopping cart, Hurley supposedly told the girl, who was blurred out in the video for obvious reasons. The child became uncomfortable and took the Mickey Mouse ears off, according to police. When he finished his transaction, he turned back to the girl and told her, he said to her, and I quote, I think you are so beautiful. He told that to the child in front of the mother. If God could only come down and strike him down as he stands, That would be the only real justice. The registered sex offender, I repeat, the registered sex offender was then captured pacing around the store and keeping an eye on the child. So he had already did his transaction, and then he stayed in the store and kept following the girl around the store, according to surveillance footage. He made at least one more attempt to talk to the little girl, which prompted her concerned mother to ask a store employee to walk them back to the car. I would have got on the phone with police immediately or something else, but I'm going to encourage y'all to call police. Hurley waited in his own car for the girl to leave the store, the arrest report said. He backed up in his car and followed the mom and the daughter through the parking lot once they emerged. The girl's mother was afraid to go to her car, so she walked to the edge of the parking lot. Once she turned around, she spotted Hurley loitering at a stop sign straight ahead, just staring at them. An onlooker finally intervened and approached Hurley, who promptly fled, according to police. He was wearing an ankle monitor on the day of the encounter. Due to his prior conviction, he is not allowed to have unsupervised contact with minors. The girl's mother was able to snap a picture of Hurley's license plate before he drove away, which is smart. Police used that photo to track down the suspect, who was arrested on July 23rd. As of Friday morning, Hurley remained in the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on charges of aggravated stalking of a minor, online records showed. And I hope that every bit of what he was on probation is turned back over on its head, and he's charged with these new crimes, and he never needs to get out of prison ever again, because I want y'all to remember that this mentality cannot be rehabilitated. It just needs to be punished. Let me give you guys a fair usage, and then we'll go from there, and we'll take a look at the video. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Jamie said there are plenty of tools at Home Depot to get more creative. I'm not advocating for vigilante justice. I want y'all to follow the law. But for those who choose not to follow the law, I get it. I understand. I just don't condone it, as I don't want y'all going to prison for the rest of y'all life either. Y'all do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. Let me know what y'all would have did in this situation.
Well, we're seeing new surveillance video police say shows a registered sex offender who is accused of stalking a girl inside of a Home Depot. This happened last month at the Home Depot off of Southwest 106th Avenue. Police say that 58-year-old Kevin Hurley approached the 10-year-old and her mother, making comments towards the girl. They say the video shows the man then pacing and stalking the child at nearby aisles there. And at one point, he left the store but then parked on the exit to wait for the family, it appears. Family shows Hurley then following behind the girl and the mother in his car before driving off. He was arrested and now faces stalking charges.
Investigators say this is a child predator in action, with his sights set on a little girl inside a Southwest Miami-Dade Home Depot, then waiting outside to follow her in his car. A convicted sex offender would end up in jail days later. The video was captured on July 4th at the Home Depot just off the Turnpike near US 1. While in the line for returns, investigators say 60-year-old Kevin Hurley tried to strike up a conversation with a 10-year-old girl who was with her mom and wearing a Disney souvenir. First saying, "I love your Mickey ears." Then, as he was finishing his transaction, the mom says he looked back at the child and said, "I think you are so beautiful." After that, investigators say Hurley wouldn't leave, pacing and keeping an eye on the child, making at least one attempt to get close to them again. The mother, noticing his behavior, asked a store employee to walk them out. According to police, Hurley was waiting in his car right out front, then backing up and following them as they walked through the parking lot, looking up later to see Hurley at a stop sign, staring right back at them. Another man spotting a problem and telling Hurley to take off. Hurley is a sex offender with a 2014 conviction for child molestation. He was wearing an ankle monitor that day, and according to the police report, he cannot have unsupervised contact with minors, including contact without the supervising adult being aware of his conviction. The mother of the 10-year-old girl in this case had no way to know about his past, but did know something just wasn't right. Police would track down and arrest Hurley on July 23rd, charging him with aggravated stalking of a minor.
And now on Just One Station, a convicted sex offender caught stalking a little girl in a Southwest Miami-Dade store. Now he is waking up behind bars.
Senator Daniel Garcia is outside the store where this disturbing incident happened with the exclusive video.
Investigators say this is a child predator in action, with his sights set on a little girl in a Southwest Miami-Dade Home Depot, then waiting outside to follow her in his car. A convicted sex offender would end up in jail days later. The video was captured on July 4th at the Home Depot just off the turnpike near US 1. While in line for the returns, investigators say 60-year-old Kevin Hurley tried to strike up a conversation with a 10-year-old girl who was with her mom and wearing a Disney souvenir. First saying, "I love your Mickey ears." Then, as he was finishing his transaction, the mom says he looked back at the child and said, "I think you are so beautiful." After that, investigators say Hurley wouldn't leave, pacing and keeping an eye on the child and making at least one attempt to get close to them again. The mother, noticing his behavior, asked a store employee to walk them out. According to police, Hurley was waiting in his car right out front, then backing up and following them as they walked through the parking lot, looking up to see Hurley at a stop sign, staring right back at them. Another man spotting a problem and telling Hurley to take off. Hurley is a sex offender with a 2014 conviction for child molestation. He was wearing an ankle monitor that day, and according to the police report, he cannot have unsupervised contact with minors, including contact without the supervising adult being aware of his conviction. The mother of the 10-year-old girl in this case had no way to know about his past, but did know something just wasn't right. Police would track down and arrest Hurley on July 23rd, charging him with aggravated stalking of a minor. Not only did police use that surveillance video to capture Hurley, but also the mother thought really quickly and snapped a picture of his license plate so that police were able to track him down. Now he remains behind bars. Reporting in Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Danielle Garcia, today in Florida.
I want you mothers to remember this. If this were to be a father, the likelihood of this man trying this would probably not happen. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, that he wouldn't be bold enough to try it, but it's less likely. Especially and shout out to Tommy, who's also talked about these statistics of houses they get broken into, generally are single parent households, generally where there's a mother and kids and no man in the house. The likelihood of people trying to take advantage of that situation is higher. In this situation, if it were to be a man with his daughter, think he would have tried this? Probably not. But this is also why, and I'm not saying that she wasn't in this hardware store and don't have a husband or an active father in the life. I'm just showing this to say that he felt comfortable enough to try to take advantage of the situation and make comments in front of the mom, thinking she's not going to do nothing. She's just going to roll over and just allow these comments and this stalking to happen. In his twisted mind, he thought that he could get away with it and that she wasn't going to pose any risk of him being exposed. But again, for her to ask for help from one of the store employees, a man, to chase him off, for them to get the license plate and get all the evidence on video and all of that good stuff, fine. This mentality cannot be rehabilitated. It just needs to be punished. Sex offenders, child sex offenders, should never be allowed to be in society ever again. That should be an automatic life sentence once you get a conviction, because it can't be fixed. For the life of you, you will always be a danger to children. Keep that baby in your prayers. Shout out to the mom. Keep her in your prayers. Get rid of all sex offenders. Legally, in the legal system, they all need a life sentence, in my humble opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this story, okay? Thank you.